Morning. We've parked at Cromford Meadows this morning. Got the road bike with me, and I've planned it's about a 65-ish mile loop that takes me into Matlock from Cromford, up Bank Road. That takes me round the back of Chatsworth House, across Beedie Moor, over to Hathersage in Castleton, up Winnats Pass, and then back down toward Bakewell through Miller's Dale and Tideswell and Monsall Head, and then back over the back round the back of Matlock, and then down the Via Gallia Road back into Matlock. So there's two top 10 climbs that I'm aware of on that are in the top 100 climbs. So we've got Bank Road and Winnats Pass. I've not ridden Winnats for a few years, so looking forward to that. I'm lighter and stronger, so should be a lot better time going up there, and I've got the right gear, and I've got 34 on the back today as well. Normally come up here with inappropriate gears and just decide, I've got Winnats, and struggle like hell up it, so should be okay on it today. So looking forward to a ride in the Derbyshire Dales. It's a bit cool, but hopefully the sun's going to come out, and the temperature should be up to about 20 today, so I'll take a gamble and leave the arm warmers in the car. Here we are in the middle of Matlock, and just over the road, that's what's coming up, the Bank Road climb, which is one of the top 100. The first time for me on that. Can't ever remember riding it in my earlier days, but let's give it a go. I made a bit of a school error. I didn't check the map properly, and I just have, and I realised I cut Bank Road short by 100 metres, so I'll just come back another day. Maybe not now. Too far into the ride. I'm up on Beedie Moor. This is where I really started cycling, from my parents' home in Bramcote, Nottingham. Once I sort of started getting to 25-30 miles, I started heading out to Derbyshire with friends. I joined a local cycling club. Now I used to come up to Derbyshire quite a lot, so that's where my love of hills and descendings come from. And look at these moors, beautiful. I really started out, and I must have spent thousands of hours cycling over these roads. They really are beautiful roads and quite close to home. Yeah, an hour's drive away. I could be here about 2 and a bit hours on the bike, but use the car and extend the ride a bit more. There's some busy bits to cut across if I was to ride here as well that aren't pleasant. So the Hena Ripley parts and Ambergate get a bit busy, so better to drive in. I've just come across Beedie Moor, and I really should have put the mount back on my handlebars so I could film the descents and some of the nice twisty bends and corners there. It's quite a nice bit of riding. So we're above Baslow now, and again really quiet moorland roads. There's probably as many cyclists up here as you get cars, so you can see the attraction. It just keeps you off the main roads down in the Dales. Some of the things I really like when I'm on my bike are the old historical things you see in landmarks and monuments, and a lot of time I just fly by, but sometimes on a day like today when I'm just out for get some hills in Derbyshire and enjoy the day out, just a nice solo ride, see things like this. That old mile marker, so it's saying to Tideswell 10, Manchester 36. That must have been when this was probably the old main road. Where would it have taken you? Probably taken you over Winnats or the Mamtor Road, the old broken road. But somebody's been and picked the moss out of the letters so you can see it. But I love stuff like that. A lot of those were taken away or buried in the Second World War, so if the Germans invaded, they wouldn't know directions or how far places were, so they were just buried by the roadside. But that's one that looks like it's survived in the old dry stone wall. So we're now on the road towards Castleton. Just checking for traffic. So we've got Mamtor in front of us and Winnats Pass. Can't quite see them through the trees. So we're now just coming up to Castleton. You can see Winnats Pass. You see the castle on top of the hill, just through the trees over there. Winnats Pass is another one of the top 100 climbs, and out of Castleton you can get up onto the broken road, reach up top of Mamtor. And in the middle of Castleton, very busy, a bit of a tourist area, lots of visitors. So we're at the bottom of Winnats Pass. So I think it starts at the cattle grid at the bottom. Let's see how we go. So we're at the bottom of Winnats Pass now, and it's absolute chaos, cars everywhere, just people out visiting for the day. So you can see Winnats actually goes up the road there to the left of the tree. So I've got that climb. And behind me you can see over there, you've got Mamtor up over there. And round to that side you've got the Hollins Cross, and there's a walk along the top of the hills so you can get up there. But I'll try and get a bit of footage going at Winnats to get there, so I can show you how steep it is. But I think I'm going to have to concentrate because there's that much traffic around. So on Winnats, winding it round in a 34 on the rear. Just doing a nice steady climb. Got a lot of climbing to do today still, so let's not kill myself. It's tough. So that's the top of Winnats, and it's just as horrible as I remember, probably worse. Made it, no stopping, which is probably a first because I've always stopped and taken a picture or just had to have a breather. Lungs are a bit tight today. I've not been taking my preventative inhaler, so that's not been great. I just forgot to do it, but that's what you do, isn't it? So I'll just have to deal with it. I think we've done the hardest climb of the ride. There's Mamtor over there behind me, and it's crowded on top. There's a lot of people on the summit. Not my sort of place when it's like that. I prefer it when the trails are a bit quieter up here. There's a lot of people parked on the sides of the roads as well, but where I'm going, dropping down into a place called Sparrow Pit and Peak Forest, the roads will be quieter. And there's been a lot of problems with parking up here and people blocking the roads. So we'll push on. So we're over Peak Forest and we're now on our way down towards Tideswell and Millersdale. We've got Monsall Head before that though, which is a bit of a climb to go over. Another 30k to go back down to Cromford. Another 450 metres of climbing, so nothing major, but it's quite bumpy all the way back. The last 4 or 5k down to Cromford via Gellia, which is one of my favourites. You can just fly down that. Just come through Ashford in the Water, pretty little village. I went to get a coffee there, but just too busy and I can't be bothered to wait, and I didn't like leaving my bike outside. There's quite a few people milling around, but I'm sure I've come across all this on an off-road ride before through the Five Dales. Really pretty countryside, very hilly, so you're either up or down. Had a stunning descent down into Ashford in the Water. The cars trying to overtake me, but then realised they couldn't actually get past or go that fast through the bends, so really good descent. It slows right down at the end because you come into the village and it's a bit crackers if you go through that quick. But we're now over towards Yulegreave. There's a climb, so I've got the last climb of the day. Garmin's telling me I've had God, he's burning a bit of stinks. Burning a bit of diesel. Carmen's telling me I've got 14 big climbs on today's ride, so I've got one left. So we'll get that out of the way. That's the one over the top of Yulgreve, and then we're all the way down to the top of the Viagelia Road, and I can't remember the name of the junction, but we get to a junction at the top, and then it's about 5k descent all the way down to Cromford, which is really nice. The sort of dick you have to deal with on the bike. Can't wait.